Chicago Stadium, one of the great arenas in the National Hockey League. Yes, it's cold tonight. Yes, it's windy, but it's warm inside. All-Star Friday is underway, and the heroes of hockey have dazzled all of us with their skills. And in just a little while, the heroes of 1991 will be on the ice in the skills competition. They've been teaching the youngsters this week, having a wonderful time around this great city of Chicago.
Blackhawks superstar Stan.
It's been a week of fun for the heroes of hockey and several of the Chicago Blackhawks alumni. Yesterday, they took time to teach Illinois' minor hockey players some of their skills in downtown Chicago.
At this point now,
all these youngsters, what we want to accomplish out here today, we're going to start off with those skating drills, warm up, and then we've discussed that with you boys in the dressing room.
So I'm in the middle of shooting a movie downtown here, and so I snuck out, and I hope they're not calling me because I'll get in big trouble. But I came out, you know, I'm a hockey fan, a sports fan, so I snuck out to see who I could see, you know. Obviously, you know, over there.
You going to the game on Saturday?
Saturday, 12 o'clock. Actually, we're supposed to shoot on Saturday, so I'll be, you know, trying to be at the game as long as I can.
Tell me to take a lunch break, so even 3 hours.
This is where I am now, lunch. So I'm not eating, I'm starving. Fasting for the game, yeah.
You never know who you'll run into on the streets of Chicago, from movie stars to hockey heroes. The hockey heroes of the past will yield this ice surface in just a few minutes to the hockey heroes of 1990-91. As the skills competition will get underway, we'll find out who has the hardest shot at the National Hockey League. And earlier tonight, with youngsters on the ice, Wayne Gretzky of the Los Angeles Kings participated in showing them a little of the tricks of the trade as the Coca-Cola bottlers around this country continue to conduct in each one of the NHL cities their hockey training camps. The youth hockey organizations, the camps will give children from all over North America the opportunity to have fun, improve their fundamental hockey skills with Wayne Gretzky, the NHL stars, including Brett Hull and Denny Savard. And as you see, the goaltenders, Patrick Waugh and Andy Moog, are just about ready to go to work.
Stay with Sports Channel America every night after the main event and get the latest news, interviews, scores, and highlights from the world of sports. Sports Nightly. See it exclusively on the Sports Channel America Network after the game.
To get rid of her gray, my wife can spend 40 minutes. But I discovered the 5-minute hair coloring.
The revolutionary discovery called Just for Men from the leader in men's hair coloring. Simply apply Just for Men and in 5 minutes shampoo out.
Gray is blended away. The look of my natural color is back in 5 minutes. That was me, and it won't fade or wash out.
My hair takes forever, but you look great in just 5 minutes.
The look of your natural color in just 5 minutes with Just for Men.
Skipper, you ever been afraid of dying?
Son, you gotta have permission to die. Danny Glover. All we really got is each other. Willem Dafoe.
Nobody has a chance alone.
Brad Johnson.
I do know the difference between dying for something and dying for nothing.
Loyalty. Bravery. Sacrifice.
You're gonna live!
Flight of the Intruder. Rated PG-13. Now playing at theaters everywhere.
Painful sore throat and no chloroseptic spray? That's okay. Chloroseptic lozenges actually work like the spray to penetrate nerve endings and stop pain fast. Great tasting chloroseptic lozenges. Fast relief when you're away from your spray.
To help relieve her heartburn, regular Rolaids uses an aluminum salt, but his antacid is Tums, and Tums has calcium.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Tums. The fiery rage of a kickboxer, the unstoppable force of leather-fisted warriors, and the unbridled fury of pro wrestling. Non-stop action on Feet, Fists, and Fury. See it Monday nights only on Sports Channel America.
Channel America moves into phase 2 of our coverage of the NHL skills competition. And joining me once again this season at ice level, Gary Green of National Hockey League coaching fame, also of TSN fame, that's the Canadian Sports Network. Nice to see you again. What do you expect here this year? We've had one look at it. What are we going to see this year?
I think, first of all, Billy, that we found last year, we didn't know what to expect, did we?
No.
But we found it to be very, very interesting. We had a lot of fun out in the ice, and that's what I'm looking forward to today. I wanted to stick myself, but they gave me this stick mic instead.
I think you look great. It even matches your shirt. You know what I'm looking forward to? It's too bad that a lot of the players that won the individual competitions are not back this season, but at the same time, it opens up the door to other players. I mean, Al Iafrate is not here. He won the hardest shot. Mike Gardner won the fastest skating, and he's not here. And Kirk McLean won the goaltending, so it's a wide open field.
I think it just shows we always use that word parity all year long. We've got some fast skaters, some guys that have got great shots. Even Brett Hall said today, I don't have the hardest shot in the NHL. I was surprised by that.
Well, who does?
Well, that's going to be an interesting question.
I mean, last year Al McInnes had to go first, remember? And he was upset that he had to go first because he felt that he didn't really have the format down. And I'm wondering if you think he's the favorite this season.
Well, he hasn't been getting as many shots away from the point because they don't let him get those shots away.
Stick your neck out.
All right, Al McInnes is going to do it this year.
Okay, what about the skating competition? Now, that's going to be a tough one because the format has changed, and we'll get into that in depth a little later, but the format for the skating competition has changed. To me, it's wide open.
Well, I think it's going to give a guys a better opportunity. First of all, they are not as concerned about going around those corners, which always concerns the players to a certain extent. Yeah. But we've got wide open speed coming.
What do you think of the Heroes competition? It was nice to see some of those guys that were your age out here competing once again.
I'm a little worried about Serge Savard out there, though. He told me coming back down in that he wasn't a plus player today, and so there was some concern. Milt Smith was talking trades.
Okay, well, I hope you're a plus player. If you're set to go, I'm set to go. Jigs and JD, I guess we're ready.
Yeah, I think we are. With $75,000 plus on the line, $2,000 per man on the winning conference, and $1,000 to each player on the losing conference. We've got to be ready, JD.
I think it'll be a lot of fun, Jigs, when you think about the 6 events we're going to see. I, too, am looking forward to the hardest shot. That will be event number 2. It's a nice mixture this year of forwards and defensemen. The coaching staffs, by the way, have filled their rosters with the players that they want to be used in each event. So we'll see some interesting choices by the coaches. I know Mike Milbury has made some changes right up till the last minute.
And even the organizers of the event have had to change one of the rules, and one of the skills from last season that Wayne Gretzky took a little advantage of, perhaps. We'll talk about it later on when we get to that particular one. But some of the areas have been refined, and I think that we're probably in for some surprises again this year, as we found last season in Pittsburgh.
I think so. When you think about that hardest shot contest that we'll see, maybe a forward might win it for a change. Thomas Sandstrom has been elected to be one of the shooters for the Campbell Conference.
Well, the folks are beginning to settle back into their seats, and the heroes of 1991 are about to be introduced by our colleague, Pat Foley.
Hello to the 1991 Prince of Wales Conference All-Stars. First, from the New York Rangers, number 2, Brian Leach. From the Washington Capitals, number 4, Kevin Hatcher. Number 8, Darren Turcotte. That's number 4 from the Buffalo Sabres, Uwe Krupp. Now Darren Turcotte. And from the Pittsburgh Penguins, number 8, Mark Recchi. From the Quebec Nordiques, number 10, Guy Lafleur. From the Pittsburgh Penguins, number 11, John Collins. From the New Jersey Devils, number 15, John McClain. From the Hartford Whalers, number 16, Pat Verbeek. From the New York Islanders, number 16, Pat LaFontaine. From the Montreal Canadiens, say hello again to number 18, savoir-faire, Dennis Savard. number 33, Patrick Waugh. On the right wing from the Boston Bruins, number 8, Cam Neely. At left wing from the Philadelphia Flyers, number 22, Rick Tocchet. At center from the Quebec Nordiques, number 19, Joe Sakic. On defense from the Pittsburgh Penguins, number 77, Paul Coffey. On defense for the Boston Bruins, the top vote getter in the Wales Conference, number 77, Captain Ray Bourque. Here tonight, injured, unable to participate for the Montreal Canadiens, Brian Strudlin. The trainers for the Prince of Wales Conference are Ken Flager for the Boston Bruins and Stan Wong of the Washington Capitals. The assistant coaches Ted Sater and Gord Clark of the Boston Bruins and head coach Mike Milbury of Boston. And now introducing the 1991 Clarence Campbell Conference All-Stars. From the St. Louis Blues, number 2, Scott Stevens. From the Edmonton Oilers, number 5, Steve Smith. From the Winnipeg Jets, number 6, Phil Housley. From the Los Angeles Kings, number 7, Thomas Sandstrom. From the Toronto Maple Leafs, number 10, Vincent D'Anfous. From the Edmonton Oilers, number 11, Mark Messier. From the St. Louis Blues, number 12, Adam Oates. From the Calgary Flames, number 14, Farron Fleury. From the Minnesota North Stars, number 15, Dave Gagne. From the Vancouver Canucks, number 16, Trevor Linden. From the Minnesota North Stars, number 18, Bobby Smith. From the Detroit Red Wings, number 19, Steve Yzerman. From the Calgary Flames, number 20, Gary Suter. From the Chicago Blackhawks, number 27, Jeremy Roenick. Chicago Blackhawks, number 28, Steve Larmer. And now the conference starting lineups is chosen by the fans in the NHL All-Star balloting. From the Edmonton Oilers, number 30, Bill Ranford. The starter in goal from the Calgary Flames, number 30, Mike Vernon. Down the left side, number 20 from the Los Angeles Kings, Luc Robitaille. And at center from the Los Angeles Kings, number 99, Wayne Gretzky. From the St. Louis Blues, number 16, Brett Hull. On defense from the Calgary Flames, number 2, Al McInnes. Starting on defense, a skills competition tonight are Brian Lewis and Bill McCreary. The commissioner is Scotty Morrison. And Bill Clement is standing by with both coaches.
All right, got John Muckler, coach of the Campbell Conference, and Mike Milbury, coach of the Wales Conference. John, we'll start with you. I know you've spent, I'm sure, all week going over a game plan. How are you going to spread yourself out to coach these guys when they're all over the ice?
Well, I think it'll be a tremendous game. I'm looking forward to playing against Mike's team here. Also, exceptionally good, fast skating hockey club will throw the puck around. I think the fans are going to be a beneficiary of all this. They should see good hockey.
How about a disadvantage here, Michael? I mean, you're in civvies, and John Muckler is here with his skates on.
I got to beg to differ. I think I'm at a great advantage because I think John's thinking of playing in this one himself.
Have you spent all week, I'm sure, passing on your skill tips to all of the guys on your side?
Yes, really. Yeah, first you kill the puck, and then you try to handle it.
How about the difficulties in selecting? I mean, the crowd went up here. It was tough selecting, wasn't it?
It certainly was. It was a difficult call. We had to do it under a format set down by the National Hockey League. And I wish we could have more people on our team. There's more people deserving to be here than are here tonight.
Okay, guys, good luck to both of you. Gary Green is standing by with a guy that got a huge round of applause here.
Dennis, is it nice to be home?
It's great to be here, Gary. You know, it's a great feeling. And,
company,
you know, I'm just happy to be here. First time I was here was different. Didn't feel at home. Now I feel like it's home for tonight. And, you know, got to come back to reality in a couple days, go back to Montreal and be a Canadian again.
Now, you got to tell us, they don't have any spinorama contests here today, but you're probably going to participate in a breakaway contest. Are you going to do it?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be trying to score some goals.
Okay, Dennis, good luck out there today. We're going to have a lot of fun. Let's go back to you guys.
The city of Chicago has extended not only a warm welcome home for Denny Savard, but to players from every one of the 21 teams. And our All-Star Friday continues from the Windy City, beautiful downtown Chicago on a Friday night. We'll be right back.
3 hours. What are you doing? Timing tiny time pills this morning. Yeah, so I took a contact. It works 12 hours. 8 hours. Oh, if you're going to time these tiny time pills all day, when are you going to do the work? Got 4 more hours.
There's a whole day's work in every contact.
Times I can't forget the hero who's my friend. I know that it's forever.
Strength Rolaids Antacid. Stronger because it has more calcium carbonate, more than any Tums tablet, and salt-free. More calcium carbonate and salt-free. This settles it once and for all.
Hey, did you stop using your medicated shampoo?
Not with my dandruff.
But your hair feels so nice. I didn't think your shampoo could do that.
Really?
Used to be, treating persistent dandruff could leave you with medicated hair. Introducing new intensive treatment. It helps protect your hair while it gives you the most effective medicine available without a prescription.
Honey, let's not talk about my dandruff problem, okay?
What problem?
New Head & Shoulders intensive treatment. Tough on dandruff without medicated hair.
I was looking for something a little bigger. I'll take it.
When the moment comes to start life on your own, there's no better card than MasterCard.
It's just the bare necessity.
With payment flexibility and nearly 3 times the acceptance of American Express.
How much is this?
For the way we really live.
So what do you think of my place?
It's definitely you.
MasterCard. Master the moment.
NHL All-Star Friday live on Sports Channel America from Chicago Stadium. $75,000 in prize money on the line now. Let's join our colleague, Bill Clement.
Thank you, Jakes. You know, a couple of these skills are obviously self-explanatory. I'm talking about the hardest shot and also the fastest skating. There's some others that need a little more explaining. So we thought we'd take a little closer look at the rest of the skills tonight.
Event number 1 is the puck control relay. Starting on the blue line, each player will skate to the far face-off circle before carrying the puck through the pylon course. If a player loses the puck, he must retrieve it and start through the course at the point he lost control. The conference that wins 2 out of 3 races gets 5 points. Event 2 is one of the most popular, the hardest shot. Each conference will have 5 shooters. A player can either skate in or be stationary when he shoots, but the shot must hit the net. Each player will have 2 shots, and his best shot will count. Rapid fire is the next event. 4 shooters and 2 goalies from each conference will be involved. Each shooter is given 6 shots from the slot. He has 7 seconds to complete the drill, and the team that gets the most goals out of 24 shots wins 5 points. The fastest skater is event number 4. 4 players per conference will compete in 2 heats, with the top 2 finishers in each heat advancing to the final. The sprint from the goal line to the far face-off circle is worth 5 points to the winner's conference. Event 5 is a competition of shooting accuracy. 4 players from each side will shoot 10 pucks at 4 targets in the net. The most targets hit in the fewest number of shots will decide the winner. His team will be awarded 5 points. Finally, the breakaway relay. In a 45-second time span, teams of 3 skaters will attempt to score on the opposing conference goalie. Each conference will have 4 sets of skaters in the relay. The team that scores the most goals wins, and a big 15 points is awarded for this team competition.
You can imagine the talent that's on this ice and the firepower, and don't think that these guys aren't loaded with adrenaline right now. We'll get started in just a moment, but right now, we'll pause for a regional break.
Tuesdays at 7 p.m., it's the Orioles Update on HTS. Tom Davis for Orioles spring training and preseason coverage as we count down to a season to remember at Memorial Stadium. Orioles preseason action on HTS starts in March. If you're not watching Orioles Update on HTS, you don't know what you're missing.
Some folks just can't get enough of college basketball on HTS. So for those of you who fit that description, HTS gives you a behind-the-scenes look with the Coach's Corner.
It's showtime. Let's go. 1-3. 1, 2, 3.
Keep up with the coaching strategies and team progress. Get the inside scoop from the Coach's Corner all week long on HTS.
The V8-powered Mercury Cougar XR7. It comes with speed-sensitive steering, anti-lock brakes, and a new high-output V8 that's pure adrenaline, which means the top dog is now a cat. All this in the quality of a Mercury.
Got a painful cold? Gotta get relief? Get Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. It relieves painful cold symptoms some others miss with a decongestant, antihistamine, and a pain reliever you can't find in any other leading cold medicine.
The pain's gone. I can breathe.
Everything feels better, better, better.
Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. Relief for your painful cold. And now for sinus and allergy relief, try new Alka-Seltzer Plus sinus allergy medicine.
The Chicago Stadium, the city of Chicago, the Wirtz family and the Blackhawks are the hosts for the 1991 All-Star Weekend, and our skills competition is about to begin with the puck control relay. And there you see from the blue line to the far goal line and then through the pylons. And in this particular competition this year, a new wrinkle in the rules. John Davidson, call it the Gretzky rule. Huh?
The 99 rule. It doesn't take Wayne Gretzky long to change things, does it? You have to take both your body and the puck this year right around those pylons as we get ready for Team 1.
All right, gentlemen, let's get ready to race. Players are lined up. That's Housley on the far side, Leach nearest to you. Brian Leach of the Rangers, Bill Housley of the Winnipeg Jets. not reach around, must carry the puck around the pylon this year. Pretty even as they got through the first set here. But now Housley stretched it out.
Two of the finest skating defensemen in the game, and Housley picked it up towards the end. This time we have LaFontaine of the Islanders and Vincent Domfus, who's really stretching it out. Domfus of the Maple Leafs. He overhandled the puck for a moment. LaFontaine's back in it.
Now Dave Gagne on the far side of the ice. Here the Minnesota North Stars, Pat Verbeek of the Hartford Whalers on the near side.
Gagne came out of the chute a little better than Verbeek, and Verbeek has just overhandled the puck, and it looks like it will be the Campbell Conference to win their first relay. Remember, the first team to win 2 of these relays win the event.
We have a defenseman, a center, and a winger from each side. So the combination of Housley, Domfus, and Gagne beats Leach, LaFontaine, and Verbeek of the Prince of Wales Conference. Working on the ice, Brian Lewis and Bill McCreary. That's Brian Lewis talking to Chelios and Roenick of the Blackhawks, just making sure that they're clear on the rules, that they must carry the puck around the pylons.
I think the Chicago flavor here, involving Roenick and Chelios, you'll know who the fans are pulling for here, obviously.
The defense matchup, Gary Galley from the Boston Bruins and Chris Chelios of the Chicago Blackhawks. Now John Cullen and Chelios, so they don't go head-to-head. Chelios slipped a little. Cullen, a little off balance. Big turn by Cullen here. May have chewed up some time, and he knocked the pylon over. That'll be replaced. Now it's Roenick and Sakic. The two speedy forwards, Sakic of the Quebec Nordiques and Jeremy Roenick of the hometown Blackhawks. Even at the blue line, it appears.
Roenick missed the pylon with a puck a few moments ago.
And now, Galley and Fleury. Darren Fleury of the Calgary Flames, Gary Galley of the Boston Bruins.
Remember, the Whales need this thing to tie it up.
But they're not going to get it. The Campbell Conference wins 2 in a row. 5 points in the standings to the Campbell Conference right out of the chute.
Theo Fleury really picked it up and got it going. There may be a little protest here as we see Theo Fleury show the strides, really cutting the pylons and diving as he gets over the blue line. Maybe a little problem here. No, it's a winner.
As it stands right now, the Campbell Conference has picked up the first 5 points. Let's join Gary Green on the ice.
Bill, this is the type of match where you got to make sure you got the right edge on your skate out there.
Well, get the right edge or the right skate. I think the most important thing is just knowing where you're going, because sometimes it can be confusing.
How much are you looking over at the other side there to see how much ahead are you of the other one?
Well, I was having problems myself, so I just tried to do the best I could and try to get our team a lead.
Thanks very much.
Okay, I'm here with Pat LaFontaine. You guys got swept 2 straight. I looked at your lineup. You looked at your lineup. Are you surprised?
Well, they had a pretty good lineup, but I thought we had a good lineup also. Going into it, we were just nervous. We didn't want to fall or lose the puck, but it was a hard-fought battle. They won, but we had a lot of fun.
Tell me, is there any disadvantage whether you're a right-hand shot or a left-hand shot? Because you have to go down and make that turn around the pylon a different way depending on which way you shoot.
Well, I imagine for a right-hander, you can make a tighter turn. It depends. Some guys might be better on their left crossovers or right crossovers, but for myself, the right turn was a lot better.
Okay, Pat, good luck in the rest of the competition. Thank you.
Thank you.
The first competition, the puck control relay, has gone to the Campbell Conference, up 5 points to nothing over the Prince of Wales Conference. Coming up, it'll be the hardest shot. Who in the National Hockey League has the hardest shot? We'll find out in a moment.
Head & Shoulders Shampoo presents the NHL's greatest hits, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Clean, rugged hits are one of the NHL's most dramatic features. At
6 feet 4 inches, the New York Islanders' Gary Nyland is one of the league's most imposing defensemen. For enemy skaters, he's always a force to be reckoned with. On Long Island, it's Gary Nyland who delivers some of the NHL's greatest hits.
Hold it, ho, ho, ho. So you're gonna finally meet Cindy, huh? Tonight. Good. So first impressions are very important. I think. Okay. Now imagine, lights are low, the music's soft. Knock the door opens up. Somebody's out there doing this.
What is this? She's got dandruff?
No, you have dandruff.
No.
Yes, you
I
do.
shampoo every day.
You could shampoo your brains out with regular shampoo. Wouldn't matter.
Brains out?
Yeah. Well, so use that.
Head and Shoulders?
Works for me, my friend.
But you don't have dandruff. Exactamundo.
Head and Shoulders, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Pain from just one sensitive tooth can start the domino effect. A chain reaction that can end in tooth loss. The pain can make you stop brushing, lead to plaque buildup, gingivitis, periodontal disease, even tooth loss. Sensodyne toothpaste helps stop the pain and the domino effect. Dentists recommend Sensodyne most for sensitive teeth. And Sensodyne is now available in a pump. Help stop the pain and the domino effect with Sensodyne.
Extra strength Rolaids antacid. Stronger because it has more calcium carbonate, more than any Tums tablet. And salt-free. More calcium carbonate and salt-free. This settles it once and for all.
Stay with Sports Channel America every night after the main event and get the latest news, interviews, scores, and highlights from the world of sports. Sports Nightly. See it exclusively on the Sports Channel America Network tonight.
Friday continues now from Chicago Stadium. We're ready for the second event, the hardest shot in the National Hockey League. Who has it? Here's what they have to do this season. The puck is placed at the blue line. They move in the hash mark, and then the radar gun will determine the speed of the shot. Last year, the competition was won by Al Iafrate, then playing with the Chicago Blackhawks at 96 miles an hour, J.D.
Al McInnes was second at 92 miles an hour. First up will be Kevin Hatcher. Now, you're allowed a 15-foot run-up here, as we see from Hatcher as he steps into the shot and registers at 86 miles an hour, Jigs. Not good enough, I don't think. He has to start and then move into it. He shoots it high. That time it drops to 82 miles an hour.
5 shots per conference. Hatcher gets a second chance. He has a new teammate by the name of Al Iafrate this week. And he is a mile below on his second shot, registering 85. So 86 will be his best, obviously. Next up from Pittsburgh. And from the Prince of Wales Conference, representing the Pittsburgh Penguins, Big Kevin Stevens.
Did not register on the radar gun, so he gets another opportunity. No reading means another shot. Stepped into that pretty good. The weight transfer, I think, is as important as the contact of the stick blade on the puck, like a good golfer. As he steps into that shot, it reads at 83 miles an hour. The people involved with the radar guns, Jigs, feel that they try different types of guns. There's only 1 mile an hour difference between all of them, so they're very happy with the system. And Stevens registers an 83 for that shot.
Gretzky, Mark Messier over at the bench. Next up from New Jersey, John McClain of the New Jersey Devils will be the next man from the Prince of Wales Conference. He puts an 87 up with his first shot, J.D. He has a good shot.
Scored the biggest goal of his career here in Chicago playing for the Devils. No reading on that shot. Well, it must have been a quick one. He scored a goal in overtime to put New Jersey into the playoffs for the first time, and at the same time eliminating the New York Rangers.
86 with his second attempt. They are shooting from exactly 24 feet from the goal line.
Last year when Iafrate won this event, it was a low shot to the middle of the net. These players have been putting the puck up towards the middle of the net.
Ewing Troop of the Buffalo Sabres puts up an 83. Big defenseman here. Steps into it. 90. There's your best shot of the night. Goes so far.
You know, and it wasn't the quick swing of his stick. It was kind of a slow motion, but he stepped into it beautifully, used all of his weight and his size, and he's the first man to reach 90 miles an hour.
And now the odds-on favorite to win it, Al McInnes of the Calgary Flames. 94. Can he beat it? No, 91 on his second shot, 94 miles an hour. Vernon knows he faces some practice
daily. So Al McInnes puts his team into the league. That means that they will win it. Jigs, however, there's still individual money involved here, $2,500 to the winner, so Sandstrom has a chance of beating that 94 miles an hour shot.
First shot registers, as you saw, at 88. And here is number 2. 91, picks up 3 miles an hour, but not good enough to beat McInnes, who has registered a 94. And listen to the crowd react as number 7, Chris Chelios, will be the next shooter.
Now, if there's a tie, could be a tiebreaker. 87 by Chelios with a big follow-through. He tried. He really stepped into that one. Chelios has to be inched up by the referee, Brian Lewis, to the line before he can start the shot.
And that puts up an 83. So McInnes of Calgary is still our leader with 1 shooter to go, a teammate. Gary Suter will be the 4th and final contestant representing the Campbell Conference. 81 with his first shot.
Oh, boy. Lots of stutter stepping on the way to the puck. Watch his feet. 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 strides. Well, he changes at that time. He gets a little more out of the shot. 86 miles an hour for Gary Suter. So Al McInnes with the 94-mile-an-hour shot wins it for the Campbell Conference, and he wins the individual money.
Well, some different styles. I was somewhat surprised, but Al McInnes, who has put up the best shot so far, is standing by with our Bill Clement down on the ice.
Well, Al McInnes last year in Pittsburgh had to go first before anybody else shot. You said it was a disadvantage. Did it help watching the other team go first?
Well, it was nice to see what the other guys did a little bit, and just to see what you have to aim for. But it was nice to go a little later down the line.
You do this any different than you did last year? I mean, you waded into it, but I remember last year you said you hit the puck a little fat. You took a little too much ice. Did you catch it a little cleaner this year?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, I think I was able to take an extra stride into it this year too, so it was nice. But it's nerve-wracking out here, and I'm just glad it's over right now.
Did you get it all, or was there something left in that stick?
Well, hopefully there's a couple of goals left in it for tomorrow.
Okay, Al McInnes, congratulations.
Thanks very much, Bill.
So Al McInnes has put the Campbell Conference up 10 points to 0. He got into that, got all of it, and put up a 94-mile-an-hour shot. We'll be back.
If you suffer from congestion caused by colds, allergies, or sinusitis, you should know that more doctors and pharmacists recommend Afrin, America's leading nasal spray. But if you're in the dark about relieving dry, itchy, irritated noses, now there's new Afrin Saline Mist. It delivers soothing moisture to irritated noses. And because it's non-medicated, you can use it as often as you want. New Afrin Saline Mist and Afrin 12-hour nasal spray. We're just what your nose needs.
I used to have dandruff, so I tried Head & Shoulders. Then I tried Selsun Blue. Blue is better.
Selsun Blue relieves dandruff flaking better than Head & Shoulders. And doctors recommend it more than Head & Shoulders, Denerex, and Tegrin.
Blue is better.
Selsun Blue.
Painful sore throat and no chloroseptic spray? That's okay. Chloroseptic lozenges actually work like the spray to penetrate nerve endings and stop pain fast. Great tasting chloroseptic lozenges. Fast relief when you're away from your spray.
The new 652 Tax by CCS. Unmatched power. Total control. Awesome response. 652 Tax by CCS. Turn on the power.
1-900-896-2333. The Sports Channel America Sports Hotline for all the scores.
In a 3-2 overtime thriller.
For sports news.
Some big free agent signings today.
1-900-896-2333 is all you need. 24 hours a day, every day. Get late-breaking results and news on your favorite sport.
For basketball, press 1 now.
1-900-896-2333. The Sports Channel America Sports Hotline. Call today.
A lot of young people amongst this capacity crowd at Chicago Stadium. They see the Campbell Conference up 10 points to none. And don't know that I'm really surprised because the Campbell Conference has dominated when it comes to Stanley Cup wins over the last few years.
Certainly have. Al McInnes, in watching that slap shot, Jigs, you can see why it's so good. He's got the backswing where he takes the stick way up over 12 o'clock and then gets into it. The upcoming event we'll see, some rapid fire, some of the great scorers, great wingers in the league we'll be able to watch.
Let's see if the Prince of Wales Conference can get back into the competition here at Chicago Stadium. This is called the rapid fire. There's your diagram, and in the rapid fire, a series of quick shots on goal against the other conference's goaltender. 8 players on each team. Each player gets 5 shots. He'll be 21 feet away from the net. Has to get those shots off in 6 seconds, and the conference with the most goals will win the competition.
Each goaltender will face 12 shots. You mentioned 20 feet out from the top of the crease. The goaltenders are not allowed to leave the crease. As you look at the shooters for round 1 and round 2, and the goaltenders, all 4 involved.
As a former goaltender, would you prefer this kind of competition, or would you rather have a penalty shot where the guy gets it at center ice and you can kind of figure out what he's going to do before he gets there?
Take this for 2 reasons. 1, no slap shots are allowed. You can't take the stick in the backswing past your hip if you're the shooter, and for the goaltender, you like it when they have to shoot quick because you don't have time to think, Jake. You just react quickly. We saw some good work last year. Patrick Waugh last year shut out Gretzky in this event. Darren Pupa last year shut out Yari Curry.
You're looking into the eyes of Patrick Waugh. Mike Vernon down at the other end, facing Cam Neely of the Boston Bruins. Neely got all the shots away in the allotted time.
He really mixed his shots up. He went to both sides. Now we'll have Scott Stevens working on Patrick Waugh. Neely did not score. Scott Stevens, one of the better shooting defensemen, gets ready on Patrick Waugh. He moves out to the top of the crease, and here we go. Patrick Waugh dropped down on every shot. Stevens started to think about upstairs, but couldn't hit the corners. So Patrick Waugh, who had the shutout of Yari Curry last year, does it here to Stevens.
And now it's John McLean's turn. The Devils represented here against Bill Ranford, the Edmonton Oilers goaltender.
Ranford made one real good save with his catching glove, Jigs. He's one of the quickest goaltenders in the business today, and Ron Lowe, the Edmonton goaltending coach, says Ranford's the best all-around goaltender in the game today. Quite a statement. Ranford really sure played well.
Luc Robitaille of the Los Angeles Kings against Patrick Waugh of the Montreal Canadiens.
I think we may see a goal here. One thing about Robitaille, he studies systems that the goaltenders use. One goal post, and then he tried to hit through the legs with a couple of shots. Patrick Waugh, with that butterfly system, gets it done. Now we'll have Rick Tocchet head-to-head with Mike Vernon.
The Philadelphia Flyers hot stick in the hands of Rick Tocchet. And Tocchet puts 2 by Mike Vernon.
I must apologize. They are saying that Cam Neely did have one of his shots go in, Jags. So now it's a 2-1 contest as Tocchet.
3 goals to none.
3-0, right. 3-0 for the Whales. As Neely did score, Tocchet got 2. So Steve Yzerman has the pressure on him.
Andy Moog of the Boston Bruins. And the Detroit Red Wings find centerman Steve Yzerman. Shot, but can't get anything by Andy Moog.
One went in. Eiserman snuck it through the legs of Andy Moog, who plays with a smile on his face. 3-1 in favor of the Whales. And Denny Savard steps in to face Billy Ranford as Andy Moog looks on, and the fans appreciate Denny Savard back in the Chicago Stadium.
Savard gets one, and he missed an opportunity. He mishandled the puck. When he went to fire, I believe, the second shot, he hit the puck next to it and didn't get every one away, but he does get one. So the Prince of Wales Conference gets themselves back into the competition. And now Steve Larmer of the Blackhawks against Andy Moog. 1, 2, 3, 4. So often, but they stand as one to applaud Steve Larmer.
He disguises his shot so well, you don't know where he's going to shoot it, speaking from the goaltender's point of view. Now, Moog is playing on top of the rectangle crease, and Larmer, when it comes off the stick blade, it's difficult to tell where he's going to shoot it. Look at the accuracy inside the goalpost, under the crossbar. Steve Larmer, there is life in hockey after the departure of Dennis Savard, isn't there?
Sure is. And with that, the Campbell Conference comes out on top. Let's find that fine shooting Steve Larmer.
Stevie, who taught you how to shoot like that in Peterborough in the old backyard rink?
Well, I think my dad had a lot to do with that, and one of my first junior coaches, Gary Green.
You can't give me any credit for that, that's for sure.
Thanks.
When you're shooting that quickly, any chance to take a look, or are you just firing away?
I think you're just shooting, try to hit the net, and basically either keep the puck up or down and try to keep it out of the middle of the net.
You're helping your team become a little richer.
Well, they're helping me become a little richer, too.
Thanks very much, Steve Larmer, and we'll be back in a moment.
From over the shoulder of Andy Moog, we watch the style and the performance of Steve Larmer. 4. And that's exactly what his conference needed. The Wales Conference had had a big lead, but Steve Larmer puts 4 by Andy Moog, and the Campbell Conference wins that round. Let's pause for a regional break. Sports Channel America's coverage of All-Star Friday will continue in just a moment.
There's no magic formula for catching big bass like these. It's really a matter of know-how, the kind of know-how that brings in big winnings for the pro anglers. I'm Ray Scott, and you can share the know-how that bass pros depend on when you join the Bass Anglers Sportsman Society. As a member, you get 10 big issues a year of Bassmaster magazine, packed cover to cover with the hottest bass catching how-tos, written and photographed by anglers for anglers. And each issue is the next best thing to a fishing trip with bassing greats like Roland Martin, Guido Hibden, and Larry Nixon. If you want to go for bigger bass, go for the best know-how. Join Bass today, and I'll send you this free gift. Here's how.
Join Bass now and get your free tackle pack with Man's New Rat, a pack of auger-tail worms, the Man Alive Lure, and Berkeley Trilene XT Solar Line. Remember, you'll also get 10 big issues of Bassmaster magazine with your $15 paid membership. Call 1-800-248-4422 now to join.
So, did you bring the Coca-Cola Club? Not me.
Michael!
Michael! Billy forgot the Coca-Cola Classic. Coming right up.
Can't be that. Yes, for the Coca-Cola Classic.
That's my Michael.
Can't beat the real thing.
Yeah, I'll call you back. When the diagnosis is minor sore throat pain, the physician's desk reference lists maximum strength Sucrets for soothing and aesthetic relief. Feels better. Sucrets, soothing medicine for sore throat pain.
Make a date on Monday night for 4 hours of explosive action. UWF Wrestling, the Kickboxing Tour, and the Sports Screen Pro Boxing Tour. Exclusively on Beat, Fists, and Fury. Monday night at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Sports Channel America.
Business at the concession stands here at Chicago Stadium. All-Star Weekend souvenirs. As the Blackhawks have put on quite a show, the folks have turned out to capacity crowd, and it's on to the competition number 4. The Campbell Conference leading 15 points to nothing. Here's where the Wales Conference has to get back in. Who is the fastest skater? Last year, our winner was Mike Gartner, representing at that time the Minnesota North Stars with a speed of 28.1 miles an hour. And there's a lot of competition here, head-to-head, and a few changes. Here's Gartner stretching it out last year. A race from goal line to the far face-off circle, a distance of 150 feet. 2 preliminary heats, 4 players in each. 2 top players in each heat will then go to the finals. You see 4 lanes. Trevor Linden, Pat LaFontaine, Jeremy Roenick, and Paul Coffey, who did not compete last year. Coffey on the near side, number 77.
He spent the most time warming up for this event, Jigs.
Neck and neck with Linden, but then he stretched it out. Pretty close.
Real close. Paul Coffey does a lot of riding of the stationary bike to stay in shape, to keep the legs in shape, and of course skating, the strongest part of his game. Race number 1, Coffey and Linden, the top 2 finishers, will move on to the finals. So the 2 outside lanes get it done. Now the guns this year have been lifted up a little bit, basically shooting the chest of the player as he crosses the line, and you can see Coffey just edging Trevor Linden as the 2 outside lanes move on.
The photo cell last year was low, and the players would put the stick out, JD, to get that little extra. Well, they caught him.
Well, Mike Gartner was a little smarter at the time than most others. So, here we go with the next round.
Bill Housley, third is Thomas Sandstrom. He'll be in lane 3. Bill Housley in lane 1. Darren Turcotte of the Rangers in lane 2. And Phil Bork, or excuse me, Ray Bork of the Boston Bruins here in lane 4. Darren Turcotte stretching it out. The Ranger forward appears to have won this heat.
Yeah, I think Sandstrom was second. Sandstrom had the best jump out of the chute. Turcotte through the neutral zone, picked up speed and passed Sandstrom. So those 2 will move on as Mike Vernon, who did a good job in the shooting skills, looks on. Here we see Darren Turcotte taking off and winning this one handily. Thomas Sandstrom, but 1 stride in behind.
So as the fans enjoy the evening, Paul Coffey has put on quite a display, and he joins our Bill Clement.
Congratulations, Paul Coffey. You made the final heat. Is this your kind of race, a straightaway heat, or would something like last year's with the turn been a little better for you?
Well, I think last year would have been a little bit easier to get a bit of a running start, but there's not much you can do about that. You just got to race any way they tell you.
Did that take anything out of you, or are you all rested for the final heat?
I'm a little tired.
Too tired?
No, not too tired.
Okay, congratulations. Good luck in the finals.
Trevor, nice long stride out there. Well, I think at the start you try and keep them short, and then you just got to stretch them out as far as you can. It's a speed skater comes out in you. Well, I was watching the way you got out of the blocks, and you certainly had some great acceleration. Were you thinking about that beforehand? Well, just, the shorter strides the better, and then just go from there. When you're heading down that ice, are you looking at all across the ice and seeing who else is ahead of you? Well, I was just trying to look at the finish line. I took a peek once, and I thought actually Paul was ahead of me, but I guess not. I'll tell you what, that finish line comes up pretty fast. Yeah, I'm glad you got there. Thanks.
Well, in our first 2 heats in this fastest skater competition, we've had very, very close races, JD.
And now in the finals, we'll have 2 from the Campbell Conference, and Sandstrom and Linden, and 2 hockey players from the Wales Conference, Turcotte and Coffey. So it's even up as far as that goes, Jigs. We've got 3 forwards, 1 defenseman, Coffey the only defenseman. And the way Turcotte controlled his race, I think he might be the favorite.
It reads Turcotte, Sandstrom, Coffey, and Linden from lanes 1 to 4. And they're on. Linden gets an early lead, but look out here. Neck and neck, Coffey and Turcotte, it appeared from our vantage point.
And it appeared as though that man, Paul Coffey, really got the strides going. A good race off the start, Jigs, as all the players had fairly good starts, but Coffey and Turcotte picked it up to the neutral zone. Away they go, pretty even. Coffey now starts to pick it up along with Turcotte. And I believe Coffey, who stays low and does his leg drive with the thighs, edges Turcotte perhaps. It's real close.
You can call it a photo finish, all right. The players are asking for a replay, and we have the benefit of what you saw available to Brian Lewis, who is the referee on the ice. They're talking about it, as you see, at the bench. Well, let's take a look at the replay and see what we can conclude.
And remember, you see Coffey bent over, you see Turcotte bent over as they cross. Boy, that's close. Oh, real close. Coffey and Turcotte beat Linden and Sandstrom for sure. As to who won it, I don't know.
Individually, we do know that the conference, the Wales Conference, has finally won something. Down at the penalty box here at Chicago Stadium, the staff will watch the replay and determine whether it was Paul Coffey of the Pittsburgh Penguins or Darren Turcotte of the New York Rangers.
As they move the equipment off the ice surface, Jakes, that means they have, I think, selected a winner.
Quite a horse race this year, and a lot of speed shown by these fastest skaters in the NHL. Bill Clement is standing by, down by the players' bench. Bill?
Somebody's going to have to tell me who won. I mean, officially, have we made a decision? Darren Turcotte is standing here, and he thought he was involved in perhaps at least a tie. Officially, did you know it was that close when you were in the middle of it?
Yeah, I knew it was pretty close. You know, I was in the outside lane here, so I couldn't really see anything beside me except the guy on my closest to me on the left, but I knew it was going to be close.
What's the most important part of the race for your style? Is it the first half or the last half?
I'd say probably the last half. I'm a little slow on the acceleration, so, you know, once things get going, they go pretty good, but...
Well, you know you're a good skater. When you looked at the guys you would have to go against, how did you think you would stack up against them?
Well, I was a little intimidated by the players I was going against, but I think maybe my nerves took over a little and gave me that little extra jump.
Yeah, off the start, was the adrenaline something that you had to try and control? Because I even noticed a couple of other guys standing there with their legs shaking.
Yeah, my legs were shaking at the start there, and actually the first race I gave it a little quick start, but I think the second race I calmed down a little bit.
Okay, Darren, congratulations. Nice race. Gary Green is with Paul Coffey.
Thanks, Billy. Paul, it seemed that when you were down there and getting ready, you had something to prove. Were you ready for this?
Well, we're ready to skate, there's no doubt. I think that there's a lot of great skaters in the National Hockey League, and proved in the finals there. Jerry Roenick and Darren Turcotte, Sandstrom and Trevor Linden. I mean, everybody's a fast skater, and we're just out there trying to do our best.
I watched you last night in Toronto, and you wound up a couple of times, and I don't know whether or not it was faster last night or tonight, but when you are going down there and you're lined up like that, I mean, the focus of your attention right now, you're looking straight down at the end, and that's all you're worrying about, getting there as fast as you possibly can, and forget about everyone else on the ice?
Yeah, you're basically just trying to get out of the blocks as quick as possible, and I think all the skaters proved that they got off to good starts, and the races were fun.
Let me ask you this one last question. So many people come up and say, how did Paul Coffey become such a great skater? Was it through special training, or was it simply that this was something that was God-given talent to you?
Well, there definitely was a lot of God-given talent. And I think that I was just blessed with the ability, and just worked out a lot when I was young, and it worked out well.
Paul, you're sure fun to watch out there. Thanks very much.
Another look at our replay of the race. Scotty Morrison will make a decision. Is it Coffey? Is it Turcotte? That is one close race, a hard-fought race. There's Scotty.
It is Paul Coffey, as you heard. Smiles all around at the Prince of Wales Conference bench. You look at Cam Neely. Art Recchi with his back to you. So 15-5 is the score up on the board. The Campbell Conference still in front.
Saturday afternoon sizzle with a college basketball doubleheader featuring the Missouri Valley and Midwest Collegiate Conferences. Indiana State versus Bradley at noon Eastern, and Evansville versus Dayton at 4 Eastern on Sports Channel America, Saturday.
now in Mercury Cougar XR7. It comes with speed-sensitive steering, anti-lock brakes, and a new high-output V8 that's pure adrenaline. Which means the top dog